due to the pandemic, new guidance was issued by the Home Office allowing agents to do adjusted checks. These were introduced, so moving checks virtually, and essentially we expected the measure to be temporary and understood that the checks would need to be repeated in person when the temporary guidance was revoked. However, the pandemic has stretched on throughout this year, and the temporary guidance has now been in place for 8 months, and in that time thousands of new tenancies have been set up using the adjusted checks. So within 8 weeks of the temporary right to rent measures being lifted, the guidance states that letting agents will need to carry out full retrospective checks on tenants who started their tenancies during this period, during the pandemic. Naturally, there's a practical problem here, and the impact on letting agents to go back, redo these checks in person is just not practical. I think our concern is that if landlords and letting agents are required to generate in-person right-to-rent checks and maintain an audit trail of activity alongside these adjusted checks for the same tenancies, this is going to coincide with a number of other developments in right to rent. It's just going to cause mass confusion amongst tenants, extra work for letting agents, and it's just not a practical solution to the reality that agents are seeing on the ground. So we've highlighted our concerns to the Immigration Minister and asked him to consider the benefits to tenants, landlords and agents of removing the need for the retrospective duplicate checks in order to ensure that landlords and letting agents can maintain the legal requirements and support moves to the new points-based immigration system through the first half of 2021.